Everybody, JC here, and for today's video, this is the newest addition to my action figure arcade that you're seeing here. It just arrived. It is the new Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet from Arcade1up. So I'm going to get this open, put her together, and give you kind of just a brief look at it. So this is more of an unboxing type video than an actual full-on review. That will come at a later time. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one and just wanted to kind of give you a first look at it. Now, before I open up the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I just wanted, for those of you new to the channel, just to kind of give you a look at my arcade collection. So I started collecting these Arcade1up machines, a little over a year ago. This is the Turtle one, the original Turtle cabinet, 4-player one. This is a more recent addition to my collection, the Star Wars arcade, which I believe Arcade1up is going to soon be reissuing in some way. The X-Men 4-player, this is one of my favorites. And then here's the first Marvel vs. Capcom, which I actually will be switching out with the new Marvel vs. Capcom 2, since pretty much all the games, in fact, all the games on this cabinet are also on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this one yet, but this is where the new machine will be going. And then next to it is my Yoga Flame Street Fighter 2 edition cabinet, legacy cabinet. And then Dragon's Lair, which is also a recent addition. Tron, which is one of my favorites. And then over here, this actually is not an Arcade1up machine, but my Donkey Kong. And then a Countercade Mortal Kombat 2. And then this is the very first Arcade1up cabinet that I got, the Marvel Superheroes one, which is still a favorite of mine. And we'll definitely be keeping this one because this is the only cabinet that has the Punisher game in it, which is, again, a favorite of mine. So this one is definitely a keeper. Now, I do have a few other Arcade1up machines. I have the Star Wars Pinball and the Partycade Street Fighter 2, which are up in my main office. Just didn't have the space for those down here. But yeah, that pretty much rounds out my arcade collection. So let's go on and open up the new one and take a look inside. So here is the box opened, and you can see everything is well packed. All the parts are well packed. For me, the hardest thing about putting these things together is just like getting all the packaging and everything and everything opened and out. Once you've got all the pieces set out and everything, it's usually pretty easy to put together. And I mean, it's good, these, since a lot of us buy these online like I did from Best Buy, it's good that they package them well, but definitely kind of a pain to get everything out of the box. Okay, so I've got everything out of the box, and all I've got left to do is to assemble it, of course. But before I do, I just want to give you kind of a close-up shot of the artwork that is going to be on the side of the cabinet. Now, as I understand, this is actually based on one of the console versions of the game, this artwork. I can't say it's my favorite artwork. I actually like the artwork better on the first Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. Ryu looks kind of like a kid to me, and it's not my most favorite characters. Though it is, I do like how, like, on one side you've got Hulk as the top character, and then the other side you've got Zangief. But again, as far as cabinet artwork goes, this might be my least favorite to date. Okay, so I have gone on and gotten the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet put together, and before I put it in its permanent place, I wanted to just give you a quick side-by-side comparison of the first Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet with the new one. So you can see right off the bat, the new one is a bit taller, and the deck is a little bit wider. So, I'll go into more details with all of this when I do an actual review, but I just wanted to kind of give you that side-by-side comparison. You can see the new one has the fake coin doors. I am going to install some lights in there. I just am waiting for those to arrive. The old one had just the names of the games. And then you can see the risers. You had, I like the artwork on the riser for the previous one better than just this. All you get really is just the logo. You can see there's Finn. He's checking out the game. Also, just some other noticeable differences with the new Legacy cabinet. It is more at a slant, so it is a little more comfortable to play. This is a flat surface. Also, what you don't get on the new cabinet is you don't get the deck lights. So I do kind of like those, but those are not included on the new one. I like the artwork a little better on the marquee for the first cabinet. However, you know, it looks much nicer. The marquee looks much nicer. The light, you know, is just the way they've done the lights on the newer marquees is much better on the previous one. The artwork, you know, it's not bad. You get some different characters, Cable, Morrow, Captain America, and then some of the Street Fighter guys. But I don't know, I kind of like the artwork here, but definitely the way the light works on this new one is much nicer. Screens, you know, for the most part, I'm not seeing any huge differences between the two. You don't have, you know, on the old one you had like more like kind of like the arcade where you had these graphics on it. You don't get that on the new one. Buttons, you know, are all pretty much the same. I haven't played this much, so I can't tell you if like the quality of the buttons and joysticks are better, but you know, I believe these are just like the Street Fighter cabinet that I have, which I've not had any problems with. And one thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is something about the games themselves, but like I noticed on this new one, it's red, green, and blue. And then on the old one, it was, or, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is blue, red, and green. So I don't know if that, again, is just something they changed. Over here on the Marvel Superheroes cabinet, it is blue, red, and green. Okay, so I've gone on and gotten the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet into its permanent spot here, next to the Street Fighter Legacy Yoga Flame cabinet. And then on this side, I've got the X-Men 4-player cabinet. So it fits pretty good. You know, the Street Fighter cabinet, this is the same design as this new Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. So they are the same height, same design, same slants on the player decks and everything. And even with the 4-player one, you know, these decks on these 4-player cabinets are a little bit higher than a regular Arcade1up machine. So at least with the older cabinets. So this is actually pretty close to the same height as far as the deck goes. Now you can see that the new one is a little bit taller than the X-Men one. So again, these newer cabinets that they're doing, that Arcade1up is doing, are a little bit taller. Now, one of the downsides to the slanted deck, for me at least, you know, I don't call this the action figure arcade for no reason. I love to display action figures with my arcades, my cabinets, and with the slanted decks, it is kind of harder to do that. So I'll probably move at least 2 of these guys up to the top. You can see over here on the Street Fighter one, I've only got 1 each in the corner, but definitely with the slant, it's a little bit harder to do that. So let's power this thing on. You've got the power button, the volume button, player 1, player 2, the live button over here, the earphone jack, and then player 1 controls, player 2 controls. You get a pretty cool load up screen with Zangief and
Hulk. Let's rock.
So I like that. Sound so far is pretty good. I haven't had any issues with the sound quality. I know some people have indicated like some static with some of the games. Now, again, I've not played this in depth, so this is not a full-on review, but just initially here, I've not had any problem with audio quality on mine. So just to go through the games: Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. So this one is one of the games that was not on the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. It was on one of their X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinets. It's a console game, if I remember correctly. Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems, that was on the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. So all the games that are on the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet are on this cabinet. You get the 2 extra games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and that Apocalypse one. So 2 additional games on top of what you get with the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 cabinet. We're going to focus today on the marquee game, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, of course. So I'm going to hit the player 1 button. And you also can go in here for game settings. We'll look at that at a different time. You know, like I said, I will do a more in-depth review of this at a later time. I just wanted to kind of give you a brief overview of it.
Capcom presents.
Now, it's been a long time since I've actually played this game, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And one of the big differences between this one and the first one is just a wider selection of playable characters that you get.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. New Age of Heroes.
So you can see a lot more characters on this one you can select from for both Marvel and the Capcom side of things over the previous one. And I'm not going to really play a lot here, but just to give you a quick look, I'll pick my my number 1, Captain America. Let's go with Venom. And we'll stick with Marvel. And we'll go with a good old Shumagorath.
The Chronicles of the Past will now unfold. This is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Get ready to keep up.
I'm only playing with one hand as I hold my camera, so don't expect me to. Going up against Blackheart. Yeah, so like I said, I'm not really going to do a lot of playing here. So that's pretty much, I'm going to wrap it up there. I think, you know, like I said, I just wanted to give you kind of a overall look. You know, let me just back up just so you can get kind of a look at it in there with all the other machines. But, you know, overall, you know, I definitely think it looks good. The updated marquees definitely are nice. Better lighting on them. And the screen quality seems to be pretty good as well. You know, same type of monitors with the Street Fighter one, I believe. So no issues there. So again, I will, after I've played it for a little while, do a more in-depth review for you guys. But love to hear your thoughts, you know, especially if you've already gotten your hands on this one. It is out there. Walmart was the first place to start shipping these. I got mine from Best Buy. Target, I believe, has started shipping them as well. Some places I think have sold out. So, you know, I think Walmart's currently sold out, but they'll probably get more before Christmas. I think Best Buy currently has them in stock. So if you want to get your hands on it, you definitely can. And, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you're so inclined. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.